relaxing than going. Oops. Made a little typo there. And say then going. Listening. Treehouse soundtrack has said to be more relaxing. What did I just do there? I'll retype that. Great. Let's see. What else are we seeing in chat? Crickets. Okay. One of the downsides of living in a treehouse is that you have to be cautious not to step on the crickets who frequent the area. However, the house also comes with many amenities, such as high-speed internet access, a video conferencing system, and a bookshelf of the textbooks. Okay, there we go. Now, I always, in general, when I ask kids, what are some of the kind of cool things, the amenities in this treehouse, then they're going to be like, oh, plasma screen TV, Xbox 360, Rock Band, list all the different types of video game consoles, and I'm like, okay, that's fine, I'll give you your plasma screen TV, but I'm also going to give you a bookshelf of textbooks and a video conferencing system and high-speed internet access with which you can do educational blogging and not play games all the time. So they usually get a little stymied by that one, but it balances out the amount of TV that they put in the treehouse. So here is our completed little passage. The treehouse is white with green shutters and blue stripes down the side. The roof is purple. Opening the door to go inside, visitors are struck by the pungent smell of fall leaves after a rain, fresh bread, and stinky feet. In general, the former two manage to overpower the stinky feet smell. Inside, it sounds almost like a nature CD is playing, due to the chirping of birds, the sound of rain trickling down the roof, and wind blowing. Listening to this treehouse's soundtrack is said to be more relaxing than going to a spa. One of the downsides of living in the treehouse is that you have to be cautious not to step on the crickets who frequent the area. However, the house also comes with many amenities such as high-speed internet access, a video conferencing system, and a bookshelf of textbooks. So you can see that this is made sourcing the students, or in your case, yours, suggestions. So what it sounds like, what it smells like. If I had more time, I'd probably ask you more questions. So how much collaboration you want and who controls the project does depend. So you could have, maybe you could have a lead student, or you could even divide, if you have a very large class, divide it up into different teams and compare. So that's also another fun idea that I do sometimes. And you could give pretty much it all to the students, and you wouldn't be in control. There are many different ways you could do collaborative writing. But the essence of it is that when students see that you are working with them, and many times it'll be less daunting. Also, I think collaborative writing is a good way to get started on explaining a concept, because instead of just shoving a worksheet at students and saying, let's get started writing your descriptive passage, and students might be a little intimidated by that, when you're able to work with all the students to make one. It's a great example, and it's also giving them a sense of accomplishment for having contributed without being quite so scared. So I think it's a good way to introduce new concepts, or ones they're not very comfortable with. And yeah, Cheryl said, I did a similar activity recently and it was very successful. We worked on the introduction together and the students continued on their own. So that is another great example. Starting a project as a group and then having the students continue on their own so they understand how to do it and then can continue. So definitely collaborative writing is very adaptable, can be used in many different ways. And another thing is that I like to explain certain concepts in maybe different ways. Like, for instance, the 5 senses. Instead of saying, write using the 5 senses, which can be a little bit abstract sometimes, I enjoy saying stuff like, maybe write for your eyes, write for your ears, write for your nose. And sometimes that's easier for students to grasp when I say, write using the 5 senses. You have to firstly remember the 5 senses, and then understand, oh, okay, I need to do this and this. So it's sometimes easier if I say, write for this body part. Kids love gross stuff, although a few may not admit it. So I think that this really ties in maybe with stinky feet. I think that some adults like gross stuff too. When I teach, I exploit the gross factor to get kids interested. Essentially, I try to utilize things that naturally excite kids, such as make-believe, food, gross stuff, weird stuff, the chance to be in control, fun visuals, video, and technology, some of which I mentioned. I incorporate these elements into my teaching in order to make the connection between excitement and learning, because I think that's important when we're using technology. Well, it's not all about technology. Technology is not our main focus here. It is about how technology can enhance our teaching best practices, etc. I ask kids lots of questions in my presentations to get them thinking about the topic that we're focusing on. For instance, in my favorite presentation, child labor, I would ask students whether they considered themselves child laborers. In a slide about conflict and obstacle, I might ask the kids about some conflicts and obstacles they have faced. So, I wanted to make this more personal. What are some obstacles you have faced when it comes to using educational technology? I just want to hear maybe what are some of the things, some of the roadblocks you found, and how you either solved them or how you're trying to work on them. Internet speed.